Obama. I did say that the voting has not worked in at least 20 years, 30 years. The voting system hasn't worked. I mean, I said it before, it's not just Obama, it was also George W., all the way back to FDR that we can blame for all this crap. So,
Now,
agreed?
yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to keep up with the chat. To be honest, it's starting to fly by a little bit here, and this is a whole new experience for me actually paying attention to the chat. So,
I know, tantalizing, isn't it?
it's pretty crazy, but also it's distracting. That's what I'm going to say. So anyway,
You should be good with that. You and your ADD, you should be all over the place.
There it is.
Right.
There it is. And even I even got to have a listener here to say fair enough. And I think what he was saying that too was the point that I was saying that both of them are just as screwed up. Like I don't go on Obama bashing trips the way that most people would picture me. Just because I happen to be a co-host of a show called The Resistance, doesn't mean that I have my Obama bashing parties. I mean, I really don't. But I do find some of the jokes and stuff funny. Like someone was saying just earlier in the chat that when Pinocchio lies, his nose grows. So there must be something with Barack Obama's ears. That's funny as shit, But at the same time, I'm not going to spend all my time bashing on the guy. What I'm going to spend my time on is trying to find solutions. I'm going to try to find that next candidate that I feel, and this is all people should be doing this, not just me. I mean, seriously, every citizen should be looking deeper into their candidates, not just the candidate that your buddies like, not just the candidate that, as JJ said before, had the R or the D in front of it and that you happens to be your political party, but really look into what this person believes and get back to these things. We all need to be doing that. And like JJ said before, too many people vote for all the wrong reasons. Hell, I even said it. I admitted it this year. When I voted for president, I couldn't choose between Mitt Romney and Barack Obama. I really couldn't do it. So I did do a joke thing. And, you could automatically say after that, well, what you're preaching and you don't practice what you preach. Okay, maybe that is fair. But, like I said, there comes a moment where you realize that it doesn't help. And you realize that something needs to change. And whether it's going to be me or Nick or any one of us here at this show, whether that's a listener or a broadcaster that starts it, it needs to be started somewhere. And this is going to be the time. I keep saying stuff like that.
No. It's good. It's good. Now, Rick is saying, I don't care about parties. Any candidate that defends and upholds the Constitution is the gut for me. And and I think really, this isn't about the president. However, we're going to be. I'm probably going to be referring to Obama a little bit just because that's what's going on right now currently. But our founding fathers even stated that political parties would divide the country, and look what it's done. It's already divided us. Liberal, Democrat, conservative, Republican, patriot, loyalist. I mean, and I know, Dino, that's one thing that you wanted to talk passionately about was, the labels.
Yeah. No, it's actually, well, hang on real quick. Let's get to the labels. But avid listener says, Mr. Larson refers to all the executive orders. Here's the numbers. Now, he says Barack Obama, 144 so far. George Bush, 291. Clinton, 364. The original George Bush, 166. Reagan, 381. Carter, 320. Ford, 169. And Nixon, 346.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I will ask because I don't know, like where the source came from, and I will respect it because it does seem to be, some serious numbers there, and that definitely is wow. But look, it doesn't matter the number. I guess that's the point that this person's trying to get to, and maybe I can get to. It doesn't matter what the number is, in my personal opinion. To me, you can sign as many executive orders as you want as long as it doesn't trample over the Bill of Rights, I think, is really all that matters to me. It's the Bill of Rights that got me to where I am today. It's, knowing that just, mild levels of protesting nowadays can be considered terrorism is absurd. Okay, you mentioned the Second Amendment and how they're trying to take our guns away, which is a whole nother thing. But there's other rights that are being infringed upon, and that's what's got me where I am today. I don't care what executive order someone signs, as long as they leave my rights alone. Then I'm sure in history these things have had to be done for different reasons.
Okay, well, I would agree with that. Now, JJ, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't care what he uses his executive orders for, just as long as he does it somewhat law-abiding and not trampling over the Constitution or the Bill of the Rights, and uses Congress as the way it should be used, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, I think we should just go back to, what we had, what our Constitution says, what kind of government we should have, because
this is, I think, the question. We could talk all night like what we should do. We could do that all night long. But how is that? How are we going to implement that? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is, I think, more of what needs to be talked about now.
Mm-hmm.
Why he's not going to, I can't speak right now. Sorry.
What needs to be done, right? Dino?
Did Dino kill over?
I don't know.
It sounds like it.
Okay. Dino, are you there?
All right, I apologize. My son was under the weather yesterday. I think I got a little taste of it because we don't need to get into details on that. I apologize, folks.
Okay. You need to take a break?
Yeah, just give me a minute here. Well, let's just take a quick break here, folks. We'll be right back. This is The Resistance.
They say a man should always dress for the job he wants. So why am I dressed up like a pirate in this restaurant? It's all because some hacker stole my identity. Now I'm in here every evening serving chowder and iced tea. Should have gone to freecreditreport.com. I could have seen this coming at me like an atom bomb. They monitor your credit and send you email alerts, so you don't end up selling fish to tourists in t-shirts.
Offer applies with enrollment and triple advantage.
Hey there, I'm Big Tiny, and I'm the host of Big Tiny's Oldies and More, where we play music from the 50s to today's favorites. So check us out Monday through Friday and see what we're playing, right here on Spreaker.
If you're listening to this, you are the Resistance.
Welcome back to The Resistance, folks. I apologize. All is well. All is back to where it needs to be. Had a bit of a moment there. I apologize, but welcome back. Now, what we see, Taking Back America here in the chat says being serious makes Dino sick. Maybe that's what it is. Like I said, just without getting into too much. Like I said, my son was sick last night. I ended up having to take him to the doctor pretty late, so I think I got a touch of that, and that's what happened at that moment. I was trying to talk. Things weren't coming out. Well, not words, but
Oh, jeez. Wow. All right.
So
Well,
anyway, what were you saying?
Well, anyways, so yeah, hopefully you're doing well. Now, before the break, we were saying, okay, we've discussed the whys and stuff like that. Now, okay, what do we do next?
Well,
what do we do? And actually, that's what our guest is going to be talking about when he comes on here. He should be here in about 5-10 minutes, but he's going to tell us about some things that we can do that are non-lethal, non-aggressive, but because right now I believe there's still time for a peaceful resolution. I
agree. And me and you have actually spoken about that, off air. That's one of my big things. I still believe 100% that we are at, a point to where education is going to get us past this by, the people, with nonviolent acts being able to accomplish what we need to accomplish. Right there, 100%. Now, here's the thing that I wanted to say before that I wasn't able to get out. You asked, like you said, how do we do it? And I'm going to be honest with you. I swear to God right now, I'm going to actually have to tell people I don't know right now. I don't. I'm hoping that by doing this show, by having the people, the guests on, I want to have a bunch of guests. I want suggestions all the way around. I want, stuff like that. I want, even the chats and stuff like that. I want that. Now, I'm trying to be all serious, and here we go. Take It Back America. He says elections have consequences.
Okay. We get what we vote for.
Well, yes. No, and I didn't mean to laugh at that, but it is funny because that's what I was trying to say before. We all need to take personal responsibility, step back instead of bitching about a lot of the stuff, and understand that we put ourselves here. But we also have the power to get ourselves out. Now, like I said, I don't believe that a lot of people know what the answer is right now. But by us researching and getting together and banding together, that's what's going to help. We're going to have everybody, be able, the way it was supposed to be, the people with the ideas to be able to change, not the corporations, not the corrupt politicians.
Right, or not the completely biased mainstream media.
Exactly. So, now, I'll be honest with you. Really, now you set it up, I really can't wait for that guest. We did discuss with him. We all talked with him earlier in this week together on a Skype conversation. And folks, you have no idea. Like, you guys are in for a treat. Like, seriously, this guy seems to be on point. He knows his stuff. And this is exactly what we were talking about. Having people on here with the ideas. This is one of those guys. So,
Yeah, exactly. I think, can we take just a real quick break, and when we come back, we'll have our guest on.
Sounds like a plan to me. Sounds like a plan. All right, folks, we will be back in just a couple seconds. This is The Resistance.
Are you sick of the same old boring talk shows? Looking for more variety? Come check out That Radio Show.
What radio show?
It's That Radio Show. The hottest talk show on the web that lets you, the listener, call in and voice your opinion. For the latest news headlines, controversial subjects, and more, come join us every Friday and Saturday at 10 p.m., 9 p.m. Central, right here on Spreaker.com.
Talk radio will never...
Welcome back to The Resistance, giving the people back the power. And now your host, Nick and Dino.
All right, welcome back, folks. This is The Resistance. I don't know what happened there. Did you guys hear that? That was crazy. We are back here. I'm your host, Dino Simpson. We're here with Nick Larson. Nick, why don't you introduce our guest?
Okay, well, on the line with us right now, we got Mike School. He's from... Mike, tell us where you're from again?
The group Patriots for Liberty.
Patriots for Liberty, thank you. And now, before you had called in, we were talking about how we got here and stuff like that. But now we're kind of looking at, okay, now what? How do we get out of this mess? And I know one thing that you're actually very passionate about, a movement, is about the county sheriffs in America. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I was trying to get the county sheriffs on board because they have